Hey there, it's Call here with Renegade Public Forums, and today we're going to take a look at some new maps that are up and coming. These are not released yet, and they are works in progress, so I might be missing some textures and things here and there. So this first map here is called Castle Wars. Bakurai is working on this one, and he is known for a lot of the remakes and larger versions of some of the original Westwood maps. And this map here is a pretty small map that it looks like it would be a lot of fun to play. I think this one would have really awesome gameplay. It's set up, and it's actually based off of RuneScape Castle Wars, so the map is almost identical to that. And so you basically have a castle wall around your base, and there's some tunnels that lead down and around from outside into your base. And then again, it is symmetrical on both sides, so GDI and NOD are set up the same pretty much layout, and they have the construction yard. I think he was going to swap it out for a power plant, possibly advanced guard tower, refinery, repair pad, barracks, and war factory. This next one again is by Bakurai, and this one is called Eruption, and this one is it was originally, I think his idea was that he was going to remake Gobi, and if you remember Gobi, it's an infantry only map where it kind of just loops around into the center where the Tiberium field is. And I think he was going to make some different paths onto it, and then as he started making it, he realized that it wasn't anything like Gobi, so he just made it its own map. But it is a pretty small map with a few different entrances and different paths to get to those entrances for tanks. There's a lot of vantage points and a lot of verticalness in this map. Some of the maps are more flat. Most of the maps, I think, in Renegade are pretty flat relatively, but this one's got a lot of up and down vertical aspects to it. And it does have some good infantry pass into the power plant. That way you're not just having to blast tanks in there, you can get your infantry in pretty good. But really beautiful looking map. This next map is Field N, which the N designation means Nod versus Nod, and Mortal C made almost all the assets, all the textures for this map. So this is a map that me and him have been working on. And it's basically identical to normal Field, except for it's blue Nod versus red Nod. He redid all the purchase terminal icons as well. So everything's blue. We swapped over all of the bullet tracers and lasers and things like that. And Unstoppable helped with the obelisk script, obviously, so we can get a blue obelisk working. This next map here is Nova G, and again, this is a GDI versus GDI map. There was an original Nova that I made earlier, about 10 years ago or so, and this is just a remake of it with GDI versus GDI. I don't have the textures on here quite yet, I'm still getting those together, but if you remember playing the original Nova map, there's pretty much one entrance into the base in the back by the war factory or the Hand of Nod, and that was switched. I switched it around, made a little complex in there, so it's a little easier than just a super tiny tunnel leading between the bases. This next map is one that I've been working on. Unstoppable made some really good scripts for this one. This is an infantry only map, and the idea is that it's called Pit Fit, and the idea is that everyone starts off down in this pit with railgun or ion cannon. I was thinking about maybe giving them rocket launchers instead, I'm not quite sure yet. But the goal is to stay down in the pit, and you can only score points by killing people when you're down in the pit. After the first minute, you respawn if you die up on the edge here and you can't get down into the middle, and you only get a grenade launcher, and then if you do get a kill and knock someone out that's down in the pit, you then respawn down in the pit, and they respawn back up outside. So you're trying to get down into the pit to score more points. And then this last one here is called Tib Island G, and this is a GDI versus GDI map as well. This one is set up as a very tiny circular island. There's some tunnels here that lead from kind of the center dome area to the advanced guard tower. There's a path around the back of the map here that you can take with tanks or infantry. You can fall off these ledges, so you do need to be careful. But these paths go all the way around the island, and they're much lower, so it's hard to see vehicles on there. The bases are kind of spread out, and the barracks and the refinery are pretty close to the other team, so you can access them pretty quickly around the outside edges. I think this will be a pretty fast-paced map since the bases are so spread out. In the middle here, there's some paths down to the outer edge, and there's some Tiberium water here. The texture's missing, obviously. These are the other ends of the tunnels that go out to the advanced guard tower, and this is where the harvesters will get Tiberium at. And then it's a pretty symmetrical map here, nothing too out of place, and just loops around back to the other side. If you like these maps, you can always comment on them on the forums. We are always open to suggestions. If you want to learn about map making, you can also go on there and ask. We are always open to adding new map makers. We can teach you a lot of different things about making maps in Renegade. It's not actually that difficult, and there's a lot of people that can help you if you choose to do that. If you have any questions about any of these maps as well, post those down in the comments and we'll answer them for you.